I don't know if she said that, but somehow you landed in hospital and were learning how to do Facebook ads from a hospital bed. And I was like, now that's the kind of guy I want to meet. Good for you.
Kind of, yeah. What happened was, it's a while back, 2008. I was just at a halt sign in Langley waiting to take my daughter home from a party on a Sunday afternoon. And I was just pulling up to stop at the red light. This guy was coming the other way. He decided to floor it to beat the light. It was wet. He fishtailed. He just plowed into the front of my car. There's nothing I could do because I was stopping. Badly damaged the car. I got $27,000 worth of repairs. But what was worse was the whiplash to my neck, herniated disc, which was unrepairable.
Wow.
And then after about a year of inversion treatment and steroid injections and anything you could think of, the alternative was to live with it or surgery.
Yeah.
And of course, it's your spine, your spinal cord.
Right.
So it was high risk, and it was only the second time the surgeon had ever actually done this surgery in BC. My
sister-in-law had that surgery in Manitoba.
Okay, yeah. So they came through here, and I have a scar from here to here, and they replaced 2 discs in my neck with titanium. And then I came out, and the surgery worked quite well, and I thought, great, I can go back to work. And he went, okay, so now the real work begins, because I don't want you to do anything at all for the next 6 months except stay home and rest.
Right.
And I went, I'm self-employed. I'm an entrepreneur. I've already gone through a year of 2008 bad economy and chronic pain and not being on my A game. I need to get back to it. And he went, well, you can, but
how?
If it doesn't hold, you're going to be in chronic pain for the rest of your life, or you can give me 6 months, and I pretty much can guarantee you'll be fine for the rest of your life. So it was that 6 months. So it's like, okay, well, I have a Facebook page. What can I do with it? And so I taught myself. This is before Facebook had business pages.
Right.
I taught myself Twitter. I got into LinkedIn. I set up a YouTube channel and self-taught. And actually, we have a mutual friend in Neil Godden, I noticed.
Oh, yes, I've known Neil for years and years and years. Yes.
And it was him that encouraged me to do it.
Wow. Yeah.
I didn't know Neil particularly well. He was actually mentoring my eldest daughter at Walnut Grove High School. He was on an entrepreneurship mentoring panel. And I came across his name because he was emailing my daughter, and she kept saying, Dad, you'd like this man. He speaks like you.
Yeah.
So when I was having my surgery and convalescing, he came to visit, and we had a cup of tea, and I told him my story, and he quoted Napoleon Hill to me. He said, Jonathan, I can tell you this, and I've seen this in my life many times, that out of every adversity is a greater or equal opportunity for good. Right. And he said, I believe that for you. And I held on to that.
Yeah.
And he very kindly just kept showing up and encouraging me. And then that Marketing Dangerously newsletter I used to have, I became his social media expert. So I wrote every Thursday for Marketing Dangerously, and then we created a meetup together in 2010. And
oh wow, yeah, I was doing meetups in Vancouver in 2007, 2008 when The Secret came out. Because I was working with Bob Proctor. I was working with Bob Proctor at the time. And at that time, I didn't have a marketing expert, but one of my former students and I bumped into each other. And he was like a gung-ho, just like me, but he was a young gung-ho, a marketing expert, you know, and he was just really on the leading edge, knew all about meetups, knew about Facebook, and I didn't. So he just got everything going on Facebook for me. And of course, then when he left, I've learned, like you, I've had to learn on my own. But I haven't done as well as you in the technical department, because my expertise is people. My expertise is kind of like what Neil does. I help people connect with their passion and purpose so that they can realize their dreams, bring their unique talents, gifts, and abilities to the world, make the difference they're here to make, and then in the process create lives they love living, lives that are totally satisfying to their soul. So that's my shtick. That's what I do.
Yes.
And I've actually been doing that in various forms since 1979. So I started studying like people like Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Norman Vincent Peale, all the great thinkers. You know, back then those books were in hideaway bookstores. A lot of the books I was reading, you know, they were in those little tucked away bookstores, you know.
Yes.
And especially in the early 80s, I forget the names of some of the ones. I used to go to Phoenix Books. It was in some little hole in the wall in Surrey. And, you know, because you couldn't buy New Thought, Invisible Side of Success, you know, Spiritual Laws That Govern the Universe. You couldn't buy those books in regular bookstores. So basically, that's what I've been doing for a very long time now. But I'm lacking, as I'm sure you discovered. I'm sure you checked out my website. And I saw you signed up for my passion and purpose assessment.
I just did. Yeah.
And so I'm really lacking the technical stuff. So, and that's why when I heard you talk as she brought so many inspirational people on, which I thought was awesome. But I wrote your name down right away. Like I wasn't missing your name for anything, but then I wrote down that JDGEM or whatever it was.
Yep.
And then I couldn't find you. I was like, well, how do I find this guy? I couldn't find him on Facebook. I couldn't find him online. I couldn't. So.
Oh, interesting. Because that is my Twitter account, my Instagram account.
Yeah, but I don't. Guess what? I don't use Twitter. I don't use Instagram. See,
okay.
I signed up. I signed up for those things, but I never learned how to use them.
Got it.
I use Facebook a lot, but I haven't. I just sort of started using it again lately because I was out of the picture for about a year, almost a year, just out of, like, for personal reasons that I won't go into, but I was sort of off the map, off the grid for a while. And I had some health issues and accidents and so on myself. So I could really relate to what you're saying. So I have a mailing list of over 1,000, and it was a hot mailing list at one time, but it's frozen cold right now because I haven't been doing anything for a year. And then I was if you want to write this down, my old website was lighthousecoaching.ca. So that's how Neil knows me from before Lighthouse Coaching. Neil Godden knows me from when I owned a company called Achieve Consulting. And what a website I had back then. This was before 2002. This was in the days of code, using code and Achieve, the I in Achieve was a gold shooting star. And so the website had this shooting star. When I closed that business, the government grabbed onto that name, Achieve, and I don't know how many different outfits grabbed onto the name Achieve after I closed that business down. Because it was a great name, Achieve.
It was a great name, yes.
And then I opened a company called Lighthouse Coaching, and that was a .ca, lighthousecoaching.ca. So when you get a minute, if you want to look at that, you'll see my old website. Yeah. That at one time, again, was leading edge. It had Flash and it had revolving quotes, these beautiful quotes, similar to the quote that you were recalling. But it had these wonderful inspirational quotes revolving on the home. It had a home page, and on the home page, it had beautiful ocean sounds and ocean waves and the picture of the lighthouse, But of course, over the years, all that went by the wayside. Flash became defunct, So anyway, so that website became old and archaic. So then I hired someone to help me rebrand and create a new website, and it's in a state of total mess.
That's the
as I'm sure you saw.
Justyourname.com, right?
Yeah. And it's Create a Life You Love Institute. So like I have a vision for my business that is much like what Lisa's is, but not the sales techie part. I'm the passion and purpose queen. That's who I am. That's what I do. And that's what I'm really, really good at. Like I really help people realize their dreams, and they've been all kinds of dreams, from writing books to becoming a rock star to becoming a singer, songwriter, musician. Oh, where'd you go?
Not me up.
What happened? You're not on my screen anymore.
I don't know. I'm here.
You know what? This darn thing keeps popping up on my screen. It says, and this happens when I'm on Zoom with Lisa too. It pops up and it says, the extension Eve Soul was automatically disabled. And I click OK and it disappears. But why does that keep popping up? And
must be something in your computer. Yeah, it's not a Zoom thing.
Anyway, it took over my screen. So where was I? I forget where I was. that distracted me.
You were the passionate, you were telling me about the transformation
Oh yeah, I'm the
you've had with
passionate
people.
purpose queen. Yeah. So when I first heard Lisa, which was several years ago, and I heard her refer to herself as the queen of sales conversion.
Sales conversion, yes.
I said to myself, well, I'm the queen of passion and purpose. I'm the passion and purpose queen. So I started putting, and I don't really know what I'm doing because I'm really not a techie, but I think I was putting hashtag passion and purpose queen after my, or before my name in Facebook posts. So if you do that, posts of mine will pop up, I think, on Facebook.
Okay. All right.
But anyway, that's enough about me.
So that's okay. So what are you doing with Lisa currently? Did you just buy the book and get into the program? Is that what happened?
I enrolled right away. You know what? I enrolled for so many of her courses in 2016. I bought them all. I bought every single one she had. And then I didn't do them. And then I didn't do them. Things happened in my life. Like I said, it's just been like a roller coaster ride. 2017, I moved to Winnipeg. Then I moved back. Then I moved to Prince George for my son and my grandchildren because his marriage collapsed and my little grandchildren were without a mom. And anyway, it's been a roller coaster ride. And now I'm back. I came back to Kelowna after I fell and broke my hip just after Christmas. So I was recovering from hip surgery, total hip replacement, and moving back here at the same time. So I've just started to reboot my business, and I know I need help at this point, right? And so I've been in touch with the Women's Enterprise Center. I've been to their webinars. I attended a refresh of the Dream Builder live virtual because
That's the Mary Morrissey one, yeah?
Yeah, because I'm a certified Dream Builder coach, and I've been doing that for years now. And I'm also a life mastery consultant. And I'm also a Bob Proctor certified
Bob's
consultant.
amazing, isn't it?
So I've spelled.
I tell you, if I can be like him at his age, I'd be a very happy man.
Well, yeah, he's awesome. I love him to pieces. So you probably saw the picture of me with him.
I did, yeah.
On my website.
Even Michael Beckworth, I mean, you know them, Gene Houston. I mean, there's all you're right there next to them all, right?
Well, if you read my about page, it says I studied with the greats. I really have. I studied with the founder. I studied with the father of coaching, Thomas Leonard, back at the beginning of the coaching industry. I attended Coach U, Coach Phil. So yeah, I mean, I've been sort of at the ground level, right, many times over. And my downfall has always been the technical aspect. At one time I was married to a techie. So it was a perfect combination. You know, I had the people skills, he had the technical skills, and together we were, you know, and so the odd time where I've had someone work with me that was a techie, like the young guru that I told you about, that, you know, was setting up all these meetups and doing all my Facebook stuff, I skyrocket, you know, like my business it thrives. But without that, I kind of fall off the edge of the cliff, you know. It's too much to do. It's too much to do all that by yourself too. And Lisa commented on that the other day in her call. I think it was yesterday, because I enrolled in I enrolled, you know, you want the whole thing. That was me. I thought, I'm not dicking around anymore, because when I sign up for these courses, self-directed study, I know I'm never any good at self-directed study. I have to be live. You know?
I'm that person too.
Yeah, I actually taught at the graduate and undergraduate level, and I did so much training like that I created myself and delivered myself, stand up in person over the years. That's who I am. But now you can't do that. Now it's got to be virtual. So I have to adapt.
You do, and you can. You can. Hey, so we all can.
So that's where you come in. When I saw you and what you did, I thought, well, that's a person I want to connect with.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I'm both fellow Canadians, so I'm British originally, but
well, that's a good thing. But it depends. You could still be your fees could still be U.S.
That's true. Yeah. No, I'm well, actually, most of my fees are. Most of our clientele is not Canadian. We use US dollars as our universal currency, but not for Canadians, obviously.
No, I don't charge Canadians US, but I have clients. I've had clients from all over the world, and they pay me in US dollars. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it works really well. Yeah, but Lisa and I go back almost 5 years, and within, well, you heard my story, but within 3 months of me buying her program,
the whole story, but what you just shared with me, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I joined in the November of 2015, and I'd already bought a $25,000 program with somebody else, and I was about 2/3 of the way through it, and it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. And I thought this lady was just the perfect mentor for me, and she wasn't. She had a lot of ideas, but I didn't agree with her ideas. And there were 16 of us in this group program, and it ended up being just me. She fired the rest of them.
I have to.
Oh, there you are.
I have to pause you for a second. This whole time, I thought you could see me. Oh, I'm
it's
so
okay.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. No, I thought you could see me because I'm a really animated, talk with your hands person.
Yes, I can see you now.
And I thought you could see me, and I'm like, oh, why? I said to myself as you were saying that, why can't I see myself? Anyway, so carry on.
So I was in this program, and lovely lady, I still know her well, but it wasn't for me. And I'd never spent that kind of money on coaching before.
Right.
And my wife was not in agreement, but she said, if you think you need to do it, do it.
Right.
So I'd already committed that money, and then I bought Lisa's tele-seminar webinar program because I knew I needed to learn the webinar skill, and she seemed to do it very well and very naturally.
Right.
And with that came a ticket to go to her next live event, which happened to be in Tampa, Florida. So Debbie and I just, we'll take a week. We'll go to this event for a couple of days. And Debbie said, I'll just sit by the pool. You just go do your thing.
Nice.
Anyway, we went to the opening event, and Debbie didn't miss a minute for all 3 days.
Oh, isn't that awesome?
Yeah. And on the Saturday, the third day, when Lisa made her offer, I mean, I so wanted to buy it, but I'd already spent a lot of money, and Debbie my wife hadn't necessarily been in agreement with me the first time. She just let me do it because I felt it was the right thing. And it was, because it definitely got me to a place, because I don't think I'd have gone to Lisa's event at all had I not have gotten to this new circle of people anyway.
Right.
And she made an offer, and my heart's pumping like, I want to do this.
Yeah, me too. That's what happened.
But my wife's sitting next to me, and it's like, I don't know if I could even bring this up. And next thing, Debbie elbows me in the gut, and she said, go to the back of the room right now. I said, what do you mean? She said, this lady is a real deal. I know she can help us.
Yeah.
I went, it's $24,000. She said, we'll find it.
Isn't that wonderful?
So with my wife's blessing.
That was meant to be.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I came back, and I had a month, I think it was, to pay it in full before Christmas. I went, because otherwise it was quite a bit more. And I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? So we scratched enough to pay it in full. And but I went, I have to get a return on my investment here fast, because I'm still in this other lady's program, and she did not like the fact that I'd gone to Lisa's event, because they're such different characters.
Was it a different type of coaching though, the other one?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this lady was a Forbes top leading social media lady, and she had all the right credentials, but
it was similar. It wasn't like me, mine is so different from Lisa's.
No, they were similar, but this lady wanted me to sell like 1,000 people at $10 a month, and 400 people at $20 a month. And it's like,
what? That's what my former person got me to do, and what a mistake that was.
Yeah, it was.
I could people in a program for $67 a month, you know, like what? Oh,
yeah, it never worked. And that was her whole philosophy. I went, this is not who I am. So when I joined Lisa's program, I went to her retreat, which was mid-January. So I'd been in it about a month. I just started to get my feet wet. I suddenly worked out that I had a 5-step system that I was already teaching, but I hadn't formalized it. So I was able to see that very, very quickly. And then talking to people about my pricing, because at the time I was a much lower ticket price than I soon became. And they all just said, do you realize how valuable your experience is? Do you realize how many people need what you know?
Right.
And I guess I suddenly did. So I did this webinar, which was the webinar in mid-February. And by the March, I'd signed up 12 businesses for a group mastermind at $15,000.
Wow, each. Wonderful.
So within 6 months of paying Lisa 24, I'd made 150. So it worked.
That's awesome. I mean,
and I just needed that push to believe that it was possible. I mean, I didn't realize what I knew was so valuable.
Right. And I know that what I have to offer is that valuable. So I already know that.
Yes.
My challenge is, like I said, the technical part. I'm missing that. Like whenever I've had someone there to help me with the technical stuff, things have gone well. I mean, I never made that kind of money because I never got to the point where I felt comfortable asking for that much. So for example, my individual one-on-one coaching program, and that's why what the other person suggested was so wrong. Here I am enrolling people in my one-on-one for $3,500 US. And he's getting me to do a group program that's much like what Lisa's doing. I'm giving away all my stuff, you know, and giving them access to the library, and I mean, you name it. And they're getting, and they're also getting on group coaching calls with me once a week, not twice a month, once a week, where they actually get to interact with me, talk to me, ask me questions. And they were getting all this, like originally he got me selling it for $97 a month, and then he dropped it to 67. And anyway, I mean, it wasn't working. So, you know, it just, I ended up
devalues your offer.
Oh, well, how can you do that and then try and enroll that same person in a one-on-one for $34.97? And $34.97 is not enough, you know, for what I do. I mean, what I do saves people's lives. It literally, I like what Lisa said, you know, and one of the ladies that I know that I connected with, she made a post talking about how one of her clients, and she doesn't have what I have to offer, you know what I mean? She's at a much different level. I'm up here and she's here, and she admitted that when we were talking, because I've got almost 40 years of experience now. But she told me that one of her clients that re-enrolled with her said this to her: if I hadn't met you and I hadn't enrolled in your program, I would have got sick and died. And many, and I mean, it's the truth. So many people that enroll with me, they're sick, they're in a job they hate. It's making them, I mean, really deathly ill. Some people get cancer. I mean, if people are not living the life they're meant to live, if they're in a job that they absolutely hate, that's causing them so much stress that it's impacting their health in ways that lead to illnesses that could kill them. You know, so to me, what I do is like that page says, you know, are you living the life you love, or are you living the unlived life? You know, I don't say this to potential clients, but I'll say it to you. To me, those are the walking dead. They're the walking dead. You know, they're living lives of quiet desperation. They hate their life, they hate their job, and like you, they've got a spouse that isn't in support of them. Like one guy, I'll never forget him. Like I've got all these, every strategy session I do, I spend about 2 hours on them. I really get to know the person. I really get to know what they're dealing with. I really get to know what they would really love. And it's so heartbreaking when someone doesn't enroll. Like one fellow, I still to this day, so many of them I remember, but this one that comes to mind right now, he was sick. The job was making a meal. He was working for Shaw in the call center. And he was an artist. He was an artist, a great artist, you know? And he's on this call with me, and we're just coming to the end where he would be enrolling, right? And his common law spouse comes home. And that was it. It was over. That was it. She didn't support him. And I've actually run into lots of people like that, where their spouse doesn't support them. They want them to stay in the job and bring home the bacon, you know. I'm sure.
Debbie's very supportive, but as I spent that money without really discussing it with her back in whenever it was 2014.
Right, but the second time she was all in.
It was actually more of her. It was more of her. I mean, I was in indecision because I knew I'd spent a lot of money and it hadn't worked.
Right.
But Debbie's intuition was just said, this lady's the real deal. And I was with Lisa for up until October when her program formally closed. I was with her the whole just over 4 years. So yeah.
Wow.
So I probably spent, I mean, I worked it out with travel, and because I went to every event that she did, because I always learned there was always something new, and often I would speak on her stage like I did on the virtual event. So I probably invested 100,000 over that 4 years with Lisa.
Well, I know how much I've invested with Mary Morrissey and Bob Proctor. It's over 100 grand. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And Debbie and I have been to Lisa's home, and we've done a one-on-one, and we created a program together in the morning. I would have stayed. I would not have given up working with Lisa, but yeah, she closed it down. She'd done it for 10 years. So.
Well, I'll tell you, if I would have had the money to enroll in the mentoring, like she offered 3 things, right?
Yes.
One was the core program, one was with Sean mentoring you, and one was with her. I mean, definitely I would have wanted to be mentored by her, absolutely. Because I know that would take me, that would be like rocket launch with her, given what I have.
It would, but you still have to do it. So even though you get even more ideas, you still have to go and put it into place, so right?
Oh, I know, yeah.
So, but I agree. I mean, she's insanely talented, and that's been a really good win-win for me and her, is that she often sends people to me and said, you need Jonathan. And she'll just call me and said, I'm sending you my friend. I know you look after her, and she'll be calling you the next day or so. And then somebody calls me and it's like, Lisa said, we need to talk. And
well, she didn't send me. I remember I was walking my dog at night, and I was in a parking lot, and I'm trying to find you on the internet, and then finally I got a message from you somehow, and I was like, oh, this fine, you know, we connected. This is great. So
yeah. So website, and messaging is in social media.
Say that again.
I'm just saying, so the website and the messaging is needing a big update, and then obviously you do some of your own.
Oh, you or for me?
For you.
For me. Well.
You were saying that your website's quite outdated.
Oh, you didn't look at my website?
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah. Let me share my screen. So let me just make sure we're on the same page.
It's a mess. The FlorenceRickards.com is a mess. I'm not pleased with my website. It looks horrible. That's not what I wanted.
No. But this is what you need help with. Yeah, this one here, right?
That plus, yeah.
FlorenceRickards.com.
Yeah. So like some of it I like. Some of it was my idea. You know, like the logo.
I like the logo, actually,
yeah. I paid for the logo. I created the design. Like I hand created the design, and then she went and did it digitally. But what that stands for, by the way, is, because a lot of people don't know what it stands for, and that's a shame, because what it stands for is my old business, my old coaching business, which was
a lighthouse.
Yeah, because I am a light. You are a light. Every single being that walks this earth, whether they know it or not, carries the light within them. You know, we are spiritual beings having human experiences. That's my belief. So every one of us has the light. So I am a lighthouse. I help people steer them off the stormy rocks. I help them to avoid, crashing in the stormy seas of life, that sort of thing. So that lighthouse coaching was more the spiritual, I guess more the spiritual side. And what it was lacking was this fire, this passion and purpose, which is who I am. I'm the light, but I'm also this incredibly passionate, dynamic, energetic person that helps to fire people up, and helps people to figure out what their passion and purpose is and why they were put on this earth, so that they can really live lives they love living. And so that's what was missing from Lighthouse Coaching. So then when I found someone to work with to help me rebrand, relaunch, but he convinced me he really knew what he was doing. And some of it he did. Like he helped me create some videos, but I'm not really proud of my videos, because they were me just learning without any guidance. I was just winging it, I was just winging it. So a lot of it, wasn't scripted, wasn't, it's not what I would have chosen to do. It's not, because I liked, not that I want to be perfect, but I definitely want to be a little bit better than what I produced. But I love how he created, I picked out the music at the beginning. Like my videos all have this lovely music at the beginning. I bought that music. And, a lot of it, like I'm a very creative person. So a lot of it was my creativity put into digital form, just like Lighthouse. Lighthouse was I hand drew Lighthouse. I told her what I wanted. the ocean sounds, you know, the bells, the whistles and so on. And then the techie creates it for me, right?
Got it. Got it.
So
you have a LinkedIn as well, but you're not active on LinkedIn, no?
I am, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't used it much lately.
No,
You'll find some articles, because I'm a great writer, you'll find some articles. I was doing blogging way back when. I actually was doing, guess what? I was actually doing a weekly e-zine every week. That takes hours to write, to do the kind of writing I do. Not that, that's not the e-zine. I had a different one called Greenhold or something. But it was going out, you know, using, what was the program I was using back then? Monkey, it has a monkey on it.
MailChimp? Was it MailChimp?
So I started out using MailChimp, and then this guy that I hired that talked me into this website, to working with him, was a different guy, because the other guy quit because of health reasons. And the first guy was way better. I really liked the first person I was working with way better. He did everything with me, which is what I need, someone that'll do everything with me.
Do that.
And he was awesome. He was just awesome. We did the webinars together, everything. And we did the MailChimp and the weekly e-zines, and, you know, we were just like a team, you know? But he had really serious health issues, unfortunately. He actually went through my programs too, which was good. Like Lisa said, Lisa does that. Lisa hires people that have gone through her programs. I'm the same. I actually like to hire people that have gone through my program, because then they really understand what I'm all about. But anyway, this second
I actually hired Sean last year to do some copywriting for me for a couple of my pages. Sean Carroll. The other coach that Lisa's using right now.
Oh, right. Yes, Sean, I knew that name. So where was I? So this fellow, no, I lost my train of thought again. Anyway, he didn't do that, you know. So I forget where I was, but
That's okay.
he ended up quitting. You're not going to believe this. He ended up quitting with no notice, 3 weeks, either 2 or 3 weeks before my live event.
Oh no.
Yeah. Honest to God, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. There I am doing my first live event called Ignite Your Dreams Live. You know, I've spent, honest to God, I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this. I rented the ballroom at the Coast Capri Hotel. The whole ballroom. The whole ballroom. You know, and I put together this incredible workshop that should have been spread out over 2 days. So, I mean, I can learn, I know I can learn a lot from Lisa, because I know the mistakes I made with that live event. You know, I gave away too much. I gave away, probably could have spread it out into a 3-day, like she does, 2.5 days, you know, and like Mary Morrissey does. It could have been that. But it would have cost more money for the hotel. I mean, there's just so many things I could have done differently with it. But the content that I had and the content that I delivered was top notch, you know?
Yes.
And I know that. So if I'd have had help, you know, but I had no help, and I did it all by myself. So yeah. And then by the end, I was so exhausted, I didn't make my offer. So talk about, you know, even admitting that, because I admitted it to the lady I talked to the other day. That's the first time I admitted it out loud. You know, oh man, did I ever feel crummy after that, because I delivered such a first-rate workshop, you know, and then to not make my offer. And some of those people are still in touch with me to this day, telling me what a difference that workshop made in their life, you know.
Really?
Oh God. Yeah.
That's terrible that he let you down.
It is
terrible. Anyway, we won't let you down.
It is, but stuff happens. You know, I mean,
I've been doing this since 2004, and I've never let anybody down.
Yeah, well, like I said, you know, even I heard Lisa say that. She used the term "shit happens." I didn't think she'd say that, but she said "shit happens." Sorry, I can't hear you now.
Oh. And it's actually, we make stuff happen.
I didn't hear you. You cut out there.
I pressed the mute button on my headset. Our website is actually We Make Stuff Happen.
I know that. I saw that. I like that. Yeah.
Thank you. But she said shit happen. So I went, yeah, it does in life, but I don't use that as a marketing term.
Well, I don't think I would either. And I wouldn't usually say that to, like, I wouldn't have said it to you if I would have heard her say that just a couple hours ago.
Oh, that's interesting that she's still talking about me. Bless her heart. I did left her a long voice message after I spoke and said how much I enjoyed helping out again. But she's been super busy getting everybody on. She did very well. Yeah, I mean, 60 people, I think.
I think so. Yeah, between 50 and 60. Yeah.
That's a $500,000 right there.
Yeah, it is. And you know, Mary Morrissey, I was in a 3-day, so they were back to back. Mary's was 3 days, and then I went straight into Lisa's. I mean, I barely slept for those 7 days. I kid you not. You know, I got a couple hours sleep every night because I get all revved up, and then my mind is going. And so I did 3 days with Mary Morrissey. She did like $1 billion in sales. $1 billion in sales. I kid you not. The prices she charges and the number of people she enrolls, it is mind-boggling. Mind-blowing.
Isn't that fantastic though?
It is fantastic, you know. And I've known Mary since 2001. So Mary and I were working together in 2001, and that's how I met Bob Proctor. I met him in 2001. I met Michael Beckwith in 2001. I met Wayne Dyer. The picture of me and Wayne Dyer on my website was from the 2001. I went to a conference that Mary Morrissey invited me to called the Possibilities Conference in Rancho Mirage, Palm Springs. And that's how I met them all. Yeah, and I ended up studying with all of them, you know, all amazing, amazing people.
You have all this experience and all of this ability to help people, and they just don't know who you are.
So yeah, I'm not getting in front of people. That's the problem. But back to Mary. So the reason I brought up Mary Morrissey is because Mary Morrissey was doing really well in 2001. And like life happens, that's a better way of putting it. Life happens. Yes. I don't like saying shit happens. Life happens, you know. And so Mary Morrissey and I were hooked up. I was helping promote her on PBS. She was going to hire me to develop a coaching program for her ministry, because I was really into creating and training and development. I can create, you know, anything, custom made anything. So we were going to do that. And then her life started to fall apart. Her ministry fell apart. My life shifted. You know, I think I was in a car accident or something. Anyway, stuff happens, right? And we kind of lost touch with each other. And then we reconnected. So then I connected with Bob Proctor. Or was it Michael Beckwith? No, then I started working. So that's right. I started working with Michael Beckwith. So I started working with Michael Beckwith in 2002, 2003. I did the coach certification program through the Coaches Training Institute. And then in 2007, when Bob Proctor reemerged with The Secret, I was on that like Flint, you know.
Oh, yes.
Contacted him, enrolled in his program, went to Florida to do his program. Yeah, and then I reconnected with Mary Morrissey, get this, on a call with Michael Beckwith. I was on a call with Michael Beckwith, and it was like a call where a bunch of people were on the call. And he had invited Mary Morrissey as a guest to talk on the call. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm reconnecting with Mary Morrissey. So after the call, I sent her an email, just a short little email, you know, and she answered me. She said, why don't you join me this week in such and such? And so that's how her and I reconnected. So then I switched from Michael Beckwith back to Mary Morrissey. And I've been studying with her since 2011, I think. Yeah. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm a lifelong learner. I don't think I'll ever stop learning.
No, me neither. No, me neither. Yeah. No.
So anyway, I mean, I have lots of programs. I have lots to offer, that's for sure. But the engine, the system side of my business has fallen off the cliff, you know, so I'm not getting in front of people. No. Facebook did a huge change like a year and a half ago or something, you know, over 1,000. I had over 2,000, I think I had 24, close to 2,500 members in my group. And Facebook just wiped out over 1,000 of them.
I remember those days.
Remember that? I was just so, it was kind of like my web guy and my techie quits with no notice before my event. And then I was still, you know, managing on my own kind of with a VA who was doing my Facebook ads for me that weren't really producing. I was spending a fortune and not getting results. and then Facebook did that huge switch, you know, where the algorithm changed. They wiped out half my group. And then, yeah, it was like my business literally fell off the edge of a cliff. Just poof. So that's where kind of where I'm at. I'm rebooting here.
That's okay. That's perfect timing then to tie in with what Lisa's going to reignite that fire and help you clarify your offer a bit more, right?
Well, you know, I see places where I've got gaps in my ability. Like I said, like making the offer from the stage. And also being able to, I don't want to use the word charge, but my fees. I think my fees, my fees are way too low. I would like to package, and I've always wanted to do this. Other coaches are doing it and making good money. So I have lots of examples. I just don't have the technical engine to do it. That's what I'm missing. So like I've got webinars that I've created, PowerPoints. But it's making the offer. So I figure once, you know, the first course I'm going to do with her is nail your offer. And then, you know, so I figure she's going to help me improve where I'm lacking. You know, that's what I'm looking for. Because I'm certainly not lacking in, you know, knowledge and experience. And before, like when my first company was called Success Unlimited Training Institute, I was spending like $5,000 to $7,000 a month on advertising, maybe more. You know, I was running a big school with 3 locations, and I was making the sales. I'm the one that was making all the sales.
Right.
So, but that was a different era, and I was selling something different. I wasn't selling transformation. I was selling training. You know, so it's different. So marketing and selling transformation is very different than
it is.
And selling a course. You know, just a sec, I dropped my
It is. But the good thing is the world's ready for, a lot of people just need what you have right now more than ever, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And perfect timing to help.
And people are certainly a lot more open to it now than they were when I started in the late 90s. You know, when I started coaching in the late 90s, it was very different.
Yeah, I mean, the whole quantum physics side of things is a tangible reality now, whereas before people could never really get their head around how these principles came together. So, yeah, I get it.
I'll just say this one last thing. I was actually one of 196 people invited to be at the filming of the new program that Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey did called The Invisible Side of Success. There were only 196 people invited from all over the world, and I was one of the people that went to that and that got the program. So I actually have the program, The Invisible Side of Success. I have so many programs. I've got programs coming out of my ears that I know how to deliver from my heart, from my soul, from my being, because I've been through them, you know?
Yes. Got it. Okay.
So that's it.
I've been to Bob. I went to his event last year in LA. I went to Paradigm Shift.
Oh yeah, the one he's offering this weekend on virtually.
I think it is. He's online this time. Yeah, and I had clients who came to us because they'd gone not through Paradigm, but they'd gone through Paradigm Shift and then Matrix, and then the what's the one after Matrix? There's a year-long one that he sells. These people were both into Bob for about 50,000.
That's thinking into results. Thinking into results.
Yeah. So they'd done that, and then they went to Peggy McCall, and they had this idea to take Bob's.
Oh yeah, I get her morning meditation.
Yeah, they decided to take Bob's teaching and teach it to teenagers, and they both really felt. He was in the Mormon church and being a missionary, and she was older, but her only daughter was a burn surgeon in San Diego, but she just had this passion to take Bob's teachings and teach it to children, sort of high school children. And
a lot of people,
she's in this small mentoring group with a few people, and she just said, I had this idea for a book, it's a fiction book, but using Bob's principles. I don't know where to go with this. I really need someone to help me do it. And then this is Kim Griffiths. And then Paul Carter said, I'll help you write that book. So they wrote a book, and it was called Gifted. And they came to me about a year last January. And do you know Angie Tomlinson? She's in Vernon. Tomlinson.
No,
she's a current Bob Proctor coach. She lives in Vernon. Anyway, Angie was in the small group, and they said, we have such a great idea. We're writing the book, but we don't know how to publicize it. We don't know how to get it out there. He said, oh, I know exactly the person. You know, he'll help you do everything. So they approached me. I was actually in South America on a cruise from Chile all the way to Argentina, and I'm doing this call with them on a cruise ship.
Nice. Well, that's nice.
They signed up. Oh yeah, and I'll show you I'll show you what we ended up doing, because we did so much.
I'm just gonna turn my air conditioner off. It's getting cool enough.
Sure.
To be right back. I'm here, Nanu. I'm here. Mommy's here. I've got a little puppy, and geez, I can't move 10 feet, and he's following me.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
So we ended up coming up with this called Gifted.
Nice?
And this was the 6 characters, and we went really into the power of the imagination and the whole story behind it. And sort of out of this, we, because they're promoting a couple of Bob's programs now. This was a book. It became an international best-selling book, and the 2 authors are this is Kim.
I love that. I love that.
And this is
the title of the book, Gifted. That's an awesome title.
And we created a brand. They had no social media at all. I mean, Paul had deleted his Facebook page a couple of years before. Kim had never been on Facebook.
I love that quote. I love that quote. Yeah. If you didn't have it in you to do it, you wouldn't want it so badly. I really
exactly. Yeah. And then we did an imagination challenge. We did a 28-page download guide that people could get, and we worked together for six months. And out of that, all the different characters came to life, and we just had a lot of fun. And we're still great friends, and we stay in touch. And they're writing the sequel right now, so they're going to re-engage me to. Right now, Paul's wife is doing social media for them, but each of the characters were given a gift, and then we elaborated around the gift and what the gift, the superpower that they got from having this gift.
Oh, and how cool! Kids would just love that.
They did, yeah. It was wonderful. So that's the kind of thing we did.
Teenagers are so into that, but then who pays for their program?
So their program is actually designed for teachers. So they speak at educational conferences now around the program based on the book that they're working on right now, for teachers to take it's like a 28-page book called the Imagination Challenge, just teaching children to really push their limits of imagination into the dream building kind of thing. Just to clarify, is this the missionary? So he was a missionary. He's not now. He's just part of a Mormon family. Okay. His family are the biggest Ford dealers in Idaho. So very, very wealthy family. Biggest what? And Ford motor car dealership. Oh, okay. So they were the biggest dealer in Idaho. And in fact, they've just sold it. They sold the whole franchise. So his grandma is the matriarch. Are they doing this to make an income or to make? They are. Okay. That's what I was curious about. How are they making money off that? Because teenagers typically don't have money unless their parents. I mean, they sold a lot of books, but that program is to teach teachers how to take this program, put it into the education system, and that's where they're at with this now. So they're doing that. Obviously, there's no schools right now. But, I mean, I think that's awesome. I really do. Yeah, and then other people, like this lady, just give you an idea. So this is a lady I actually met through Lisa. Her name is Dory Class. She's in Arizona, and life coach, very much involved in lots of different things. So this was the website we bought for her. This was, I know you like a lot of books. I mean, Dory reads like prolifically. So we worked out her 7-step. I have a huge library. Yeah, we worked out a 7-step program, and did a whole series of videos that we actually made at our house. So I went there, and within 3 days, we got all of the content for the website, the photography, and also working out her programs, and just how people can get in touch with her. So it's probably two years old now, I think. She has a Facebook group, as you know. Are you trying to show me something right now? Oh, am I not sharing? Oh, no, I apologize. I'm not seeing it. No. Okay, one second.
I just noticed you're recording though. Have you been recording right from the beginning?
Yes, I got it all for you. Don't worry. Hope that was okay.
Oh yeah, I just didn't know you were recording. It's a good thing, because that way you can go back and listen to it if you want to.
Exactly. So this is Dory. She's near Phoenix, Arizona.
Nice photo.
And yeah. So very much the desert colors, and so we have a freebie to give away. She did a book, and then we rewrote a whole story with a. I mean, these are my photos. I took them. Her 7-step program of where she's going, and then all of her teaching now is virtual. So we repurposed it. So all the pictures are her doing Zoom calls with people. We made a bunch of videos while we were actually there. So each one of these videos, that's my wife Debbie is the ideal client, if you like. So we made all the videos while we are on location. So we just did all this in 3 days, and these are all her coaching certifications. And so this is a kind of, I could go on and show you, multiple.
Well, you could send me a couple, like those links to those websites.
Absolutely, I can. This is another one we just launched this week, actually. High voltage coaching. This lady in Calgary, actually, and we just literally launched this just this week. So she's a former HR. She was a head of HR for Calgary Airport. And now she's left and working by herself, sort of just really working with female entrepreneurs on making the workplace culture work for them, because quite often it doesn't for females. And
yeah, that's true.
So this is what she's created in her inner circle now, and her coaching packages, and just literally finished this last week. So lots of things like that we do. So awesome. I can send you some examples. Yeah. So when I mean, we're obviously quite busy. When would you like to ideally get started on this? Quite soon, I'm guessing.
Well, yeah, but then the money aspect comes into play. Like I said, if I'd have had more money, I would have enrolled in Lisa's mentoring, I need. Basically, I'm at a place where I need to start bringing in some income here, and I mean, I'm not the only one that's in the I'm not the only one in the 60 or 50, between 50 and 60 that enrolled that's in that place. I'm in that place right now where I need to start enrolling people. So I wanted to talk to you because I need help to do that. So I just jotted down 3 or 4 things today that I thought. Number one, as you know, the website, but that's not an immediate need, although a couple of the pages need to be turned off, because it's better that people don't see them. They look so horrible. So like if I was able to get someone to do some minor things for me to start with, just so that people don't get the wrong impression, because I really don't think my website gives the right impression.
Right.
Because I know when I was talking to the Women's Enterprise Center business advisor, I was actually embarrassed when I was talking to her, about my website, to be honest with you. Because if you look at my old website, you can see that it's old, but you can at least see how classy it was. It was, and how organized it was. And, it wasn't in this crazy lobster font. And, I mean, there's a lot of things about my current website that just don't represent me or who I am. The colors do, because I chose those. They stand for the passion and purpose. So that takes me back to my logo. I was going to tell you, that's where I lost my train of thought. Remember I said I lost my train of thought? I was telling you what the logo stood for. So the logo is the lighthouse with the flame of passion inside it. At the bottom, you'll see the flame.
Yes.
And I don't know that people pick up on that. I don't know that people see that, but that's what my logo stands for. It stands for the light in you and the passion and purpose in you, which to me are both God-given.
Yes,
both,
I'm with you.
Your purpose is God-given. The light in you is God-given. The passion you get from tapping into what your God-given purpose on earth is. So that's where that logo came from. To me, it was a symbol of what I stand for and what I help people achieve.
So we could tune up the website. Yeah.
Yeah. So the website definitely needs some immediate work just so I can get rolling again. But it needs the whole website. To me, the whole website needs
a makeover.
That's it. It needs a makeover. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the pages that need to be turned off right now are the pages that offer my awesome Ignite Your Dreams program for next to nothing. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want people seeing that, and I don't know how to turn off those pages right now. Sales machine. So the other thing is, right now, especially because everything's virtual, because part of my business model is giving talks or workshops, and then I sign people up for strategy sessions.
Yes.
So how people have found me this last while, I have no idea. Like one lady that enrolled a few weeks back, I honest to God don't know how she found me. Because I'm not running any Facebook ads. I wasn't doing anything on Facebook. I wasn't making any posts, but she found me. So some people find me by what I call divine guidance, you know. They're meant to work with me, and so we connect.
Yes.
And she enrolled right away. You know, it wasn't I didn't have to pursue her. I didn't have to do anything. It was a good fit, and she enrolled right away and started right away, you know. So, and I had a former client call me this afternoon that we're going to hook up in 2 weeks. She worked with me. She worked with me for two years. I took her through my Dream Builder program and some other programs, and then I took her through my brand new program, which is, I think, going to be my UBS. I'm not sure. Sure. It's called, I'm going to share this with you, but it's confidential. Okay. I don't want to share it with anybody. It's called Passion and Purpose to Profit Business Launch.
Okay.
So I have a visual of that I created myself, that a rocket is in there in the launch part. There's a rocket in there. I've got a flyer or an outline of the program, and it has a rocket in it. So when I welcomed her to the program, you know, business launch had a rocket in it, you know.
Love that. Yeah.
And she completed that twice, that program with me. Whoops. She completed that with me twice, that program. So, and that was, you know how Lisa talks about building a plane in the air? Is that the phrase she uses?
Build a plane as you fly it. Yeah. So
that's how that program came to being. My client was at a place where she had done all the programs. She was trying to launch her business, and given everything I've done with my life and how many businesses I've launched and how many courses I've taught and training I've done, I just decided, well, I'll give her what she needs and call it Passion and Purpose Profit Business Launch.
Got it. Yeah.
So eventually, not right now, but I think that's going to be my unique branded system. Because the other ones I'm offering, like Ignite Your Dreams program, is my unique branded system. Ignite Your Dreams program, the one that's being offered for next to nothing on my website, the one that's really worth a lot. The other programs that I offer are Mary Morrissey's and Bob Proctor's programs. But they're programs that I believe in 100%. They're first-rate, top-notch programs. And I wouldn't want to take anybody through any of my programs other than the Ignite Your Dreams program. I wouldn't want to take them through any coaching unless they started with the Dream Builder program.
Yes.
Because it's like the foundation of a house. It's, you know, like in the Bible, it talks about, you know, building your house on a rock, not on sand.
Yes, well, I do. Yeah.
To me, the Dream Builder program is the foundation. Once they go through that with me, then they understand the concepts that I'm teaching, the invisible laws, and then I can build on that and teach them more and more and help expand their awareness more and more so that they can be more. It's B, capital B-E.
Okay. Yeah. So you said and then you said you had 4 things written down. That's 3.
Yeah. So let's see, the website, the immediate need to disable some pages, the sales machine or Facebook, Twitter, whatever you're the attracting, a method or system for attracting clients right now. And then long term is the big picture, of course. And I just wanted to let you know that I do have a big picture, long-term vision, you know, which is what I had when I started the new website with the fellow that quit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
do you have login access to the website itself?
I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Because it's in WordPress, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's, again, see there, what happened there was he tells me to pick the WordPress. And I knew nothing about WordPress at the time. Absolutely nothing. You know, my old website, if you look at it, you'll see that was where my knowledge was at. I could make changes to my old website. It was in WordPress, but it was a nice, simple, easy WordPress. He tells me, go here and pick a WordPress.
Pick a theme, yeah.
I don't know anything about WordPress, you know?
No,
so,
that's unfair to do that, really. Yeah.
It was horrible. A lot of the stuff that he got me to do was unfair, you know? And it was me just being willing and green and not really knowing, you know? And wanting and having such drive and such passion about delivering what I had to share, you know, and sharing what I had to share, that I did it because I didn't know any other way at the time. So
no, understood.
I mean, I can be quite humble, you know what I mean? I can admit my shortcomings and
that's okay.
I don't mind doing that. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's too bad Trump doesn't do that.
Oh my goodness, right?
Admit his shortcomings, you know, and his mistakes, because it takes a big person to admit their mistakes, you know, and their shortcomings. And I don't mind doing that. You know, I know there are areas where I'm really lacking. So, so I was counting on him. He came recommended to me by a really dear friend who I thought the world of. And so.
Oh, don't worry. You got me now.
So
what kind of budget have I got? What kind of budget have I got to work with to begin with?
Well, I don't have a budget right now. That's just it. So I wanted to talk to you because I need to have some sort of an idea, because I do have someone else that I'm going to talk to. But yeah, I mean, I have no idea what we're talking about here. None, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's lots of different
and I don't know
here.
if you do. I don't know if you do social media. I don't know if you do.
Yes, we do.
Facebook ads, and you know. Yes, we do. Because right now I need, like I said, what I need right now isn't the website. What I need right now is, you know. But
the website is a hub of where people go and find out about you. So we do need to fine tune it to make it work for you, for now.
Well, how people were enrolling before was, even with that horrible website, people were enrolling through, I was doing teleseminars, I was doing Facebook Live, I was doing webinars, because I bought Webinar Jam back when nobody knew what Webinar Jam was. But again, I was doing that with the help of my tech person, because I never.
And we can help you. Yeah, we do that too.
I never figured out how to operate Webinar Jam. So
no problem. And then you have your MailChimp as well, right? Still?
No. So that I didn't fill you in on that. I switched again. This was at his suggestion. He said, get rid of MailChimp and go with GetResponse. Well, that was great for him. Well, yeah, but that was great for him because he knew, and he's a techie, and he knew how to use GetResponse. Right. I'm paying money for GetResponse and not even using it. You know,
it's harder to use as well.
I'm paying this monthly fee for what I think is probably a Ferrari, and I'm using it like a Honda motorbike. You know what I mean? It's not being used.
Yeah. I'd have put you back to MailChimp because I love MailChimp, and
I like MailChimp myself. I found it.
And if you're under 2,000 names, which you are, I mean, it's free.
I found it to be user friendly. I could go in there. I could go in there and make changes. I could do the e-zines. I mean, not now, because now it's been over 2 years, but I had gotten to the point where I could do all that myself with MailChimp, you know, because it was so user friendly. But GetResponse it's for a programmer. Have you used GetResponse?
Yeah, I don't use it. I know of it. We've got 6 or 7 different programs that we've had to use for different clients, but MailChimp is my preferred one.
For me, GetResponse is horrible. It's too techy. It's too complicated. It's okay if you're a techie, But if you're someone like me, it's not a good program for me, you know?
No,
Every time I go to use it, every single time I go to use it, I have to go to the chat box and ask for help. And then you're waiting. And it takes you over an hour to do something that should take you 2 minutes, you know?
Sure. Okay. Let me, I have another call. I got one more at 5 o'clock, so I've got to catch up for that. Now I know what you're looking for. Let me think on this overnight. I'll get you an email in the morning, and I'll give you some ideas, and I'll think about some numbers, and then we'll talk about it and see how we can make it work for you.
Okay, because I mean, very quickly, because you've got a call. I mean, I wouldn't have contacted you or booked an appointment with you. Yes, I don't have the money right now this minute, but I mean, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll start low and
I wouldn't waste your time. Your time is valuable, just like mine. So.
Got it. I got it. I feel good.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Good. I really appreciate your time. I spent more time talking about me than about you or what.
That's what I wanted. No, you don't need to. You should know that I just do what I do, but I need to hear about you, so it's perfect.
Okay. Good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jonathan. Pleasure meeting you. Have a good evening. Yeah. Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.